Hello horror fans and welcome to another episode of Silver Screams Reacts. Tonight we have something I've been cautiously optimistic about, but I've also been raising an eyebrow and going, please don't be just like the book.
It's the It trailer that dropped earlier today.
Yeah, please don't be just like the book. Please don't be just like the book. Please don't be just like the book.
The book has problems. It's Stephen
Very
King.
specific problems.
Oh yeah, it's Stephen King. So there's the usual ones, and then there's the did you need to include?
Well, we have moonshine over yonder to play the Stephen King drinking game.
Does it take place in Maine?
Take a drink. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it.
Click.
Oh, oh baby.
She's already Captain. Thanks.
Oh baby. Actually, that's pretty good casting. That kid looks a lot like the kid in the original.
Oh, and he put wax on it so it wouldn't.
Oh baby. Spoiler alert, this does not end well for this kid.
Well, yeah, clocking himself on the thing doesn't help.
Spoiler alert, things get worse. So very quickly for this poor boy.
You can make another one, child. It'll be okay.
He doesn't know there's...
Oh, framing. From his terrifying novel, as opposed to his not
From
terrifying
Stephen
novel.
King's terrifying novel.
People die or disappear 6 times the national average. And that's just grown-ups. Kids are worse. Way worse.
Why would people in this town pretend? Pretend like things are okay?
I saw something.
I don't know about you. I feel like in a normal town there'd be a lot.
Really? There's a normal town and then there's this awful, awful house.
Look,
It was in the original, I think.
it's all connected by the sewers. That's where it lives.
Oh. Ooh. Wait for it. Pennywise in a dress. I don't know what you were going there, but scary was not what it was.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll
Booga booga booga! Oh.
It's like that one scene from Monsters, Inc. where they're all going in the doors and you get the short montage and the one with like 10 tentacles down each side is going...
I was actually thinking more like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Eustace always grabbing his mask and going, booga booga booga! Like...
There is no way to run through water menacingly. You can't run through water menacingly. You can have running menacingly, you can have moving through water menacingly, or you can have running through water. But that Venn diagram does not overlap in the middle there. There's no magic spot.
No.
You can't do that.
Unless you're a monster that can like part the water.
Unless you're Jesus.
Well, I always
Moses.
think of
whoever.
There's a scene in
Jesus was on water.
there's a scene in the Evil Dead remake where they go down into the basement and this part of the basement's flooded, and you know there's good jump scary stuff down there.
As you do.
That they did that better. I mean, that one was looking okay, like when he's like coming up out of the water,
Yeah.
like as the kid's distracted by, you know, the vision of his little brother. Then he started running for some reason. Okay, I liked the initial character concept photos that were released a couple months ago, which is Mr. Skarsgård right here, decked out in full makeup, but this trailer makes it look like Pennywise is just trying trying so hard to be scary. He's trying so hard.
And I mean, you have a role that was originally played by Tim Curry. And while Tim Curry did, I just keep going back to like that scene. Tim Curry was not always the scariest thing in the movie, but when he was on,
magical.
he was on. Like, not everything was magic, but when it was on, it was on. I was, given the way that Twitter was reacting to this trailer earlier today, everyone's like, oh my god, it's so scary, oh my god, I'm not gonna sleep, oh my god, I'm not gonna watch this, and then it's like, okay, this is gonna be fucking terrifying.
Like, booga booga booga! And not to mention...
That doesn't mean I'm gonna watch the movie, mind you. I will not survive this. But...
I mean, the photos with him in a dress, it was starting to be scary with the way it's just moving on its own, and he's like, hi, I'm in a dress!
And then you're like,
why?
Yeah.
Why though? I don't understand.
I was like, oh, slow reveal from the projector. And I'm like, okay, this is actually really spooky, super
Yeah,
natural.
it's getting good. It's getting
and
good.
then you realize, how did he do this when he's actually a giant alien spider?
Spoilers.
It's been out for years. This is a remake.
That's why I said spoiler alert when I said things don't end well for the kid. Anyway, no, point being is I don't think Pennywise is actually a physical presence. I think he's just like a psychic manifestation of the spider. I don't know. I don't know.
Psychic manifestation of the spider is my Avenged Sevenfold cover band.
I actually legitimately don't know because I don't understand why he's a spider, and I don't get the thing about the giant turtle, and I know that this all ties into Dark Tower somehow. I don't care. I don't care. All I wanted was a scary miniseries about an evil clown, and they gave me a giant spider, and it was stupid and silly and campy and hilarious and great. This is and here's the thing, is I would love to see a straight up horror, like a non-campy version of it, like a straight up scary version of it. And it looked like they had some good imagery here because the giant space fighter does play upon the children's fears. And that's why we get all of those really scary vignettes. But the thing is that if Pennywise himself, it looks like he's trying to scare you, you're not actually scaring anyone. And I feel like you wouldn't scare these kids either.
I feel like if they cut out the run, because I think the run is what got me in this trailer. Like, I'm like, okay, I will live with he kind of looks ridiculous in a dress because the buildup was so damn good. But if they had just left it at his head coming out of the water, it would have been amazing. But no.
For me, the dress, he lost a lot of credibility. Coming up out of the sewer, great, good. Very good start. Solid.
Attempting to run menacingly through water?
Build up with the projector. Good. Solid. Wearing a dress. Not sure what you're going for there, Mr. Pennywise.
Oh, but that's a staple of clowns.
Wearing a dress?
Sometimes.
And then, yeah, not really quite sure what you're going for that attempted jump scare either.
It just keeps... What's the thrilling adventure hour on? It's like Chuckles or something?
Nightmares, the clown.
Nightmares. God bless James Urbaniak.
Ooh, be careful that you do not slip upon a banana peel and fall upon your bottom. I secretly hope he does slip on one.
If you haven't listened to Thrilling Adventure Hour, what are you doing with your life? Please.
Episode 5, Wishing Hell is where it starts. It's wonderful.
Just listen to the whole thing.
Episode 5, Wishing Hell is where the Pennywise parody begins. He's a running character.
He is, and like I said, God bless James Urbaniak.
He's so good.
Yeah, Paul F. Tompkins and Patch Brewster.
You guys get that I'm not an actual clown, right? I live in a well. That's not what a clown does. It makes me so happy.
At some point, we should just do a Silver Screams and sit down and talk about Beyond Belief.
Absolutely. Oh, guys, that is on its way.
What I'm intrigued about for this is that the trailer showed mostly the kids. We got shortcuts of adults, but But most of this was focused on the kids. So if you've never seen it before, if you've never read it, then you have no idea that the kids is the first chunk of the movie. And the rest of the movie is, hey, they're adults. Hey, they're coming back to take care of the problem because the problem's not taken care of yet.
I should point out, this is It Part 1.
Oh.
Just clarifying. There.
No, it's a movie.
2 movies.
2 movies.
Yep.
Are they making them all at the same time?
I hope so. Although, you know what? I can
And
honestly...
Power Rangers is going to be 6 movies all tied together. It is, actually.
I would actually kind of rather you just keep the focus on the kids. The kids are way more vulnerable, but are also more open to the idea of magical solutions. Adults are the ones bringing in their skepticism, and they're like, I kind of remember, but I don't, and also I don't want to remember because repressed.
It's like, I repressed that.
Well, not to mention there's also magical forgetting in there as well because of reasons that I don't understand. Because I haven't read the book. Because I heard about stuff that happens in the book and I said, no thank you, and washed my hands of it.
Yeah, I might never visit Maine because it seems like awful shit just seems to happen.
I actually think Maine sounds lovely. My biggest problem here is that and I kind of said this earlier, all of the build-up stuff and all of the vignettes with the kids look great. Spot on. Perfect. It's everything with Pennywise that falls short.
And he is supposed to be like the quintessential evil clown. You think of evil clown, 90% of the time you come up with Pennywise.
There are two...
Occasionally you get evil clowns from outer space,
There are
which is
two
amazing.
schools of
Killer
thought
clowns
on
from
how
outer
to do Pennywise in terms of a portrayal or an adaptation.
space. One of them is Curry and one of them is Skarsgård.
The two thoughts are, one, he needs to be the scariest freaking clown ever, which is what this one looks like it's trying to do. The other is that, no, the reason this spider is taking the form of a clown is to legitimately draw children in. Not to be like, I'm an evil clown! It's more like, hey, I'm a clown. Want a balloon? Oh, by the way, I'm gonna eat you now.
Well, and the thing is that Tim Curry Pennywise does kind of go more for that.
He
it's
does.
more stereotypical clown, more exaggerated hair, the red nose, all of
And
that.
when you first see him, you know something's up because he's a clown in a freaking sewer. But the way he talks to the kid, he's like, hey, I've got a balloon, like, come on, there's like cotton candy and like all sorts of cool junk over here.
We all float down here.
Yeah, he talks to a kid in the way that you think somebody trying to lure in a child would talk to a kid. Not to be like, I'm evil!
And that's also partially why he's scary, is because he's able to put on this face and able to deceive these kids and being like, no, I'm friendly, it's great, you know, it's just the friendly old clown.
That's why Tim Curry worked so well.
Yeah, because Tim Curry can play both sides very easily. This looks a lot like, and I think this is also a product of its time, because that one was, when was the original It made? The 70s?
No.
80s?
Early 90s.
Really?
Late 80s, early 90s.
Holy shit.
Early 90s, but it was a made-for-TV miniseries.
This is also true. But we'd had evil clowns at that point, but we hadn't had the proliferation of evil clowns that we'd had. We hadn't had video games. I have no idea whether or not we had killer clowns from outer space at that point. We hadn't had American Horror Story.
You know what we did have? In real life, John Wayne Gacy.
That's true. But the thing was, we didn't have the proliferation of killer clowns in media. And that is as badly. But for the most part, we didn't have one that was like, okay, some of us played, what was the name of the video game with the cars and the evil clowns?
Oh, Twisted Metal?
Twisted Metal. Like, Twisted Metal was big, but it's not something that everyone's going to recognize. And then they made it, and it put a face on this killer clown that people who have read the novels would recognize, and it introduced it and Pennywise and the idea of killer clowns to the masses.
It's so funny because that's not even what the monster is, right?
No, but it's not the first killer clown you've ever seen, but it's the scariest one, and it's become cultural shorthand for evil clown.
Yeah,
It
every
is
time
the
there's an evil
cornerstone.
clown in anything now, it's a discount Pennywise.
Yeah, it's Pennywise but this, Pennywise but that. In the same way that Die Hard is the cornerstone of its own genre. Die Hard on a boat, Die Hard on a plane, Die Hard on a whatever. And so trying to remake something that is cultural touchstone and cultural shorthand and trying to do it scarier, it's like, we all know what an evil clown looks like now. We've seen Pennywise, we've grown up with Pennywise, and now we have Twisted Metal and Killer Clowns, and we had that one season of American Horror Story, and we've had so many more killer clowns in media that now we're remaking it. We have to outdo it because this is Pennywise, and this is what everyone thinks of for Killer Clown. And so they've gone the really, really scary clown route. But you're absolutely right that they've lost this aspect of the character where the point of the clown persona is to lure these children to their deaths. That is not a clown that anyone's gonna go up and fucking say hi to. And his introduction was a jump scare from the lighting, from the framing. This is a version of it that is being made for people who are already familiar with it.
Yes.
This is not a version of it that's for people who haven't seen it, people who were too young for the miniseries, people who never looked it up. This isn't a version of it that's being made for a newer generation. This is an updated, scarier, newer, shiny version for people who grew up with it and grew up with the Tim Curry portrayal. And in that way, it's setting itself up to be a disappointment because you can't fucking outdo Tim Curry.
No.
And if you're going for a different angle, make it inclusive for your new audience instead of trying to play it up for your old one.
They've said in interviews that they know for a fact there is no replacing Tim Curry.
Oh, yeah,
The poor Mr. Skarsgård here knows. He's like, look, there's only one Tim Curry, and we're not trying to recreate that which to their credit, no one can do.
Because he's Tim Curry.
Which is why they're very much going in the hard left of the other direction. But you're right. There are some drawbacks to that. So it will be interesting.
You make it less believable as a child lure, which was, you're right, the point of the evil of the clown.
Yeah.
So it's like no kid is gonna go say hi to this crazy ass motherfucker. Like, and at that point, is this still taking place?
I think this is still taking
frame?
place in the same time frame.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because they had a projector
Yeah.
instead of just looking through their iPhones. And I also think that a lot of the issues actually would disappear with the inclusion of cell phones and the awareness children have now, because kids went missing all the time in the 70s and 80s because there wasn't as good record keeping. People just allowed their children to run outside.
And what is stranger danger?
Yeah, there's a hyper, and police districts didn't talk to each other. There is a hyper awareness now to the point where we think the world is actually way more dangerous than it actually statistically is.
And it's being actually detrimental to kids' development because they're like, I grew up in the mid-90s and I was allowed to walk down the street to the park with my friends or even by myself once I got to be about 12 years old. And so, like, I knew where I was going, my parents knew where I was going and what time I'd be back by, like, all of that. And this was before cell phones were a thing. So there was still that trust, like, yes, we're in this neighborhood, yes, it's a relatively safe neighborhood, yes, you're walking to school, which you do every morning to go play at the park in the afternoon, whatever. And we're not doing that anymore because people are so damn scared.
Which I hope your parents taught you what to do if you ever came across an evil clown.
Run the fuck away.
I mean, you also, I suppose you try to lure the clown to a rodeo where they would obviously be at a disadvantage because of the bulls. I don't know. I was never taught what to do in the case of evil clown attack.
Just get the fuck out of there.
Get out of Dodge.
Like, do not be white people in a horror movie. Just leave. Just leave. Just go. Just be gone. Just go.
Also, if there's not a rodeo nearby.
Not a lot of rodeos in urban Colorado. Let's
Absolutely none in
suburban
Ridgecrest.
Colorado.
Unless the fair was in town.
Really big one in Wyoming, but only in the middle of July.
You know, I don't actually think I've ever been to a real rodeo.
We're going to Frontier Days at some point.
Where all the clowns are? No!
where all the cowboys are.
Yay!
And the pancake breakfast.
That sounds like fun.
It's great.
Anywho, point being,
Yeah.
to summarize, it looks like the horror aspects of this movie are going to be spot on, while Pennywise himself is going to be a disappointment.
See, I'd like
Kind
to
of-
see them do it in a modern time now, where you have to play with, okay, it isn't going to show up in the form of a clown anymore because this creature that's
You
living
want a
in the
sequel
subways.
then?
No, I want a remake that readjusts itself. I want this creature being like, okay, people are savvy to clowns. What are people into that's still, you know, sentient and that I can still talk with them? Like, what is, I don't know, internet celebrity, someone who looks like they could be that guy? What is this thing? What would the monster take the form of? Here we go, let's do that for a question. If we're doing a modern remake, what can we do to work around the fact that cell phones, cameras, and communication are everyday life? And what would the monster take the form of to lure kids in, if not a clown?
I know this one. I know this one.
What?
A Vine star.
It, starring Thomas Sanders. I actually watched that. Thomas Sanders is too much of a cinnamon roll, I think, to be truly.
He's playing JD in Heathers the musical.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Damn.
So yeah, starring Thomas Sanders.
It's starring Thomas Sanders, God bless. It's starring Markiplier.
Oh my god. Ah! It's starring every Let's Player you've ever loved.
Pretty much.
It's starring Jacksepticeye.
Jacksepticeye has proven that he can do some pretty fucking terrifying stuff, though.
Top of the morning to ya! I'm gonna eat you now.
Top of the morning to you. It's the last one you'll ever see.
Oh, that's adorable. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, okay, that's my vote. My
It was
vote.
played by Jacksepticeye.
It starring Jacksepticeye.
Oh my God.
Do you have any thoughts on what else?
I would watch the shit out of that.
Sorry, guys, still sick.
I would watch the shit out of that.
All right, I think we're gonna go with that. Let us know what you guys think the modern It would take the form of. Katie, where can people go if they want to keep up with you?
You can find me all over the social medias and on YouTube at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like us reacting to non-horror stuff, that's the channel it lives on. We're finishing up 11 Little Roosters, and Red vs. Blue starts this weekend, so that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, and I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at themenguin. That's TheMenguin. Be sure to follow Silver Screams at Silver_Screams on Twitter and Instagram. Like us on Facebook. All that jazz. Thank you guys, and leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of the trailer as well. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you all next time. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
Yeah, it's hard to outdo Tim Curry.
He's the best.